And then we segue into developing a way of life of unconditional love, kindness, generosity, and compassion. A way of life where we begin to practice. This is not something that's done overnight. It's not something that you just wake up and with willpower you're able to do. But you develop a way of life in which you are garnering your intention and attention to love everybody, whether you like them or not. Now, this is why, in the Alcoholics Anonymous treatise, it says there is no justified resentment. There is no justified resentment. And that is when you think you are justified in holding your resentment, then you're basically holding yourself in time and in space at the time a particular infraction occurred, and you can never transform. All you can do is change. Change and transformation are not the same thing. Change is linear and sequential. You can change the color of your hair. You can change your wardrobe. You can change your walk. You can change your speech. You can do all kinds of cosmetic changes. But this is not about cosmetics. This is about consciousness, you see? And so transformation is embracing the non-linear, non-sequential, timeless space that takes over your existence where you leap into another frequency. And so as you're developing and cultivating an unconditional loving heart, loving everyone. Now, it's difficult. I'll have to admit, primarily because of the instinct to survive at all costs, because of the normalized popularity of hate and division and separation. You see it running amok, the ego running amok in our political parties these days, where it's just normal to create an enemy. It's just normal to talk about people. It's become normal to gossip about people. It's normalized. I mean, you go back a number of years ago, people weren't making millions of dollars to gossip about other people and to find dirt. That was not, if you were a gossip, you weren't a cool person. Now, if you get the really good gossip, you get paid a lot of money. So certain things that denigrate the soul and create a myopic point of view and limit our perception are now popular. Because everything is vibration. Can you feel what I just said there? Now, if you think about it, if you just think about it along those lines, then you see why resistance and fighting and trying to figure things out doesn't get you that far. Because in those particular moments, as you're fighting, resisting, and trying to figure something out, you're vibrating at the level of the issue. But as you're lifting your frequency and vibration in prayer, as you're lifting your vibrational frequency into meditation, life visioning, the sacred chant, the holy fellowship, the study, the spiritual camaraderie, you're beginning to vibrationally rise above any particular issue, which is a coagulated thought form that has condensed itself in time and space and has become very gross and realistic. We never say that it is real, we say it is realistic. It is real-like. It's nothing trying to become something. It is pretending to be real. That which is real can't be seen, can't even be seen by the imagination. That which is real, that which is forever, that which is eternal, is invisible to the sensorium. It is so sublime, and the imaginal self, the imaginal realm, and your imaginal skills can't even take you there. It takes you to the brink of it. So your inner work is about creating enough vibrational movement, and so that you go beyond the dense, gross, realistic life into the dynamic, real presence of life and of love and beauty and joy, and then watch your life transform and glow and grow from a glory to a greater glory. And so this evening, as we're dealing with the keys to true transformation is not linear. It is not sequential. True transformation is when you are moved out of time and space, and that which is forever, that which is timeless and dimensionless, becomes the activity of your awareness, and there is a quantum leap into an expanded awareness of that which is real, that which is forever. And so you are here for that purpose. Now, there are parts of you who have brought you here to be healed. There are parts of you who have brought you here to heal particular things in your life. There are parts of you that have brought you here to make sure your needs are met and that your body temple is whole. There are parts of you that are working with the particular structures of your life so that you can be strong enough for the quantum leap, to be strong enough to hold the vibrational frequency of that which is so real that if the structure isn't strong enough, it won't be able to hold that vibration, and you'll be a little bit too porous to hold the frequency of receptivity, availability, harmonizing prosperity, abundance, and joy, and bliss. You'll leak it out because you're not vibrationally strong enough. And so we definitely embrace the opportunity to become absolutely healthy of the body temple, the mental body, the emotional body, absolutely healthy with the financial body, absolutely healthy in the area of all of our relations, and at the same time allowing that to be the structure or the spaceship, so to speak, that allows us to rise so high that the vibrational frequency of that which is so magnificent, the beauty and the love, the bliss and the ecstasy, can move through us without tearing our life asunder, but move through us so that ultimately our way of life is a catch basket, so to speak, that is able to hold the frequencies of these higher movements of God's mind. Are you following what I'm saying? And so one of the first keys to this kind of real, true transformation is, of course, a willingness. There must be a willingness to unfold, a willingness to grow, a willingness to become the next great version of yourself, a willingness to discover places within you that you have feared to look because of their awesomeness and magnificence. The willingness to continue to grow, develop, and unfold to your greatest yet to be. There must be a total willingness, and in the willingness, what you will discover is that you will reach impasses in your life. There will be things that come up that challenge you. Now, in the Zen technology, these are done on purpose. They're called riddles or Zen koans, in which a Zen master will give you something that will create an impasse in the mind that you cannot solve mentally, you cannot solve intellectually, and the impasse will force an individual to go beyond logical, sequential, rational thinking into a leap of awareness and catch the higher answer, the higher wisdom and guidance that cannot ever be captured logically, rationally, or sequentially. And so what I want you to begin to do is to look at the issues in your life as the impasses that your soul has created for you to take a leap in consciousness. Therefore, you're not here to get rid of them. You're not here to pray to God to get rid of the issues in your life. You are praying to rise above the impasse so that your consciousness expands, so that you can begin to see life from the mountaintop rather than from the valley. You can begin to see from a whole higher space of life, you see? And so willingness brings this up so that you're not to think, oh my God, I became absolutely willing and began to live a surrendered life to excellence and beauty and joy. And then I began to notice these particular issues that were chronic in my life. This is not the way it's supposed to be. Yes, it is. You are here creating your own koan, your own spiritual riddle. Some of your koans are in the area of needs met. Some of the koans are in the area of physical health. Some are in the area of relationships. Some are in the area of confusion. And so you're not to pray them away. You're to embrace such a pure sense of willingness to be transformed by the renewing of your mind and heart and soul, that you do not conform to the world's perception of reality, but you're being transformed by the continual renewing of your mind through the spiritual practice of affirmative prayer, the spiritual practice of sincere of meditation augmented by willingness to become the next great version of yourself, and all of the technologies that will allow, as I said earlier, to keep lifting the vibration and the frequency. So as the impasse arises, the second thing that you do first is willingness, and then there becomes a total willingness to take full responsibility for your life. Full responsibility for everything that's going on with the impasse, the seeming impasse is concerned. So that there's the blame and the shame that the people normally live from when things come up. The surface mind, the ego, this instinct is to find someone to blame for that which is surfacing in our life. It's somebody's fault. And if I can only find whose fault it is, I will be free. If I can only discover the culprit that put this hex on me, that did this thing, then I'll be free. And, it's much like the gentleman that was bragging about his new psychiatrist. And he was telling everybody how great the psychiatrist was. And so a friend asked him, well, why did you go see a psychiatrist? He said, I've been smoking all of my life. And I finally wanted to stop. And he said, oh, that's beautiful. Did you finally stop? He said, no, but at least I understand why. And so individuals want to get to the heart of the matter. They want to find the fault, the blame, the culprit. But that may or may not lead to any surcease of pain or suffering or any liberation whatsoever. And so we, on the spiritual path, with the willingness to grow, develop, and unfold, we begin to embrace full responsibility for our own life. Responsibility does not mean blame, does not mean fault finding. It simply means I'm not looking out there to find fault. I am taking responsibility for my own joy, my own happiness, my own peace of mind, my own prosperity, my own health. It's up to me. I'm taking full responsibility for this so that the energy is not siphoned off into blame and shame and regret. And then we segue into developing a way of life of unconditional love, kindness, generosity, and compassion. A way of life where we begin to practice. This is not something that's done overnight. It's not something that you just wake up and with willpower you're able to do. But you develop a way of life in which you are garnering your intention and attention to love everybody, whether you like them or not. Now, this is why, in the Alcoholics Anonymous treatise, it says there is no justified resentment. There is no justified resentment. And that is when you think you are justified in holding your resentment, then you're basically holding yourself in time and in space at the time a particular infraction occurred, and you can never transform. All you can do is change. Change and transformation are not the same thing. Change is linear and sequential. You can change the color of your hair. You can change your wardrobe. You can change your walk. You can change your speech. You can do all kinds of cosmetic changes. But this is not about cosmetics. This is about consciousness. You see? And so transformation is embracing the non-linear, non-sequential, timeless space that takes over your existence, where you leap into another frequency. And so as you're developing and cultivating an unconditional loving heart, loving everyone. Now, it's difficult. I'll have to admit, primarily because of the instinct to survive at all costs, because of the normalized popularity of hate and division and separation. You see it running amok, the ego running amok in our political parties these days, where it's just normal to create an enemy. It's just normal to talk about people. It's become normal to gossip about people. It's normalized. I mean, you go back a number of years ago, people weren't making millions of dollars to gossip about other people and to find dirt. That was not, if you were a gossip, you weren't a cool person. Now, if you get the really good gossip, you get paid a lot of money. So certain things that denigrate the soul and create a myopic point of view and limit our perception are now popular. And so it is difficult in the human condition to create a life in which unconditional love and compassion, generosity of the soul, and kindness are hip and cool. That's where you come in. You are here to create a life where it is so cool to be compassionate. It is so cool and hip to be loving. So cool and hip to be forgiving. So cool and hip to go for a dynamic peace and a generosity of the soul, because we're speaking vibration here. Now here's the deal. Since transformation is not logical and sequential, when you combine willingness with taking full responsibility for your own life and cultivating a life of unconditional love, there is a leap that takes place. All of the willingness, full responsibility, a way of life that is about love takes you into the timeless zone. And where there is no time, when you transcend time, now you are transcending the impasse that your mind has created for your soul's edification, and real transformation takes place. You're not the same being anymore. You're not the person operating simply just trying to survive and get and acquire, trying to appease your acquisitive appetite. You're now living in a timeless zone of ultimate reality and generating from within yourself this fountain of luminosity, of light and brilliance and beauty and love and joy that's always glowing. You're now living to allow this to shine and express itself. And as I have said over the years, you begin to glow for God. You're not living, moving, and having your beingness in the world that is popularizing separation and bigotry and hate and things of this particular nature right now. You're living, moving, and having your beingness in the world that God has made and is living and is broadcasting throughout all of creation. Thus, when you hear Yeshua ben Joseph, or otherwise known as Jesus the Christ, say, "If I do not find one worthy, I will command the rocks to shout out my name," you'll be able to say, "You don't have to do all that. I'll do it." The rocks can shout it out, but I'm going to shout it out. I'm going to live it. I'm going to shine it. I'm going to glow. I'm going to let the light so shine in me before men that they see the presence of God come what may. These are keys to real transformation, to true transformation. So the mind is linear. The mind sequential, rational, logical, in time, in space. Transformation, you're touching the timeless realm of ultimate reality. Quantum leap takes place. You're different. There's a shift that occurs. And the closer you get to it, sometimes the greater the impasse. The higher you get on the mountaintop, the stronger the wind blows. There is a protective mechanism at the level of the ego that knows nothing about the timeless realm, knows nothing about the realm of the invisible, knows nothing about the realm of the non-dual. And as you become more and more close to that kind of transformational fire, there is a fear that sometimes takes over. You're getting close. There's an anxiety that takes over sometimes. You're getting close. But here is where you pull on the big W, willingness. You become willing. You don't have to know how. You become willing. You don't have to know what. You become willing. I'm willing to be more than I ever thought I could be. I am willing. I am willing. And something happens. And the willingness trumps. I shouldn't probably use that word. The willingness transcends willfulness, transcends willpower. There's a willingness. God has a sense of humor. Transcends the willfulness, the making it happen. Willingness. Oh, it's heaven. So hear this. Hear, because this cannot be taught, really. It has to be caught in consciousness, okay? It has to be caught, okay? It has to be caught, okay? You know about the Coens. Show me the face you had before your parents were born. That's a popular one, you see. How did the goose get out of the bottle? That's a popular one. So many riddles that you cannot solve. You must transcend the linear in order to catch it. I'm inviting you to look at the impasses of your life, the challenges of your life, as the riddles that your soul has created for you, so that you can't solve them. They can only be dissolved by you expanding your awareness. And your awareness is expanded through willingness, full responsibility, and creating a lifestyle that becomes a way of life. Starts with a lifestyle. Lifestyle is what's popular. You see the books, lifestyles of the rich and famous, lifestyles of this, lifestyles and that, you know. But then ultimately, as you develop a lifestyle of prayer and meditation and generosity, it becomes your way of living. Doesn't go in and out of popularity. This is who you are, is how you live your life. And so with willingness and with full responsibility and the embracing of a way of life, of love, you become a candidate for an insight that's not in time, that catches you. You see, time stops. And you find that there's nothing to forgive. The individual that needed to forgive doesn't exist. Your life, your peace, your joy. Real transformation is occurring. Real embracing of the beauty and the life and the love. And just as the rose does not need to be forced open to release its beauty and its fragrance, who you are starts to unfold. And included in your unfoldment is the vibrational frequency of all of your needs being met. Included in that frequency is a dynamic piece. Included in that frequency is a pure creative urge of something you've got to express. Included in that is the abundance of the cosmos. According to your uniqueness, it's all included within you. That when the Spirit of the living God recreated itself after its own image and its dynamic and magnificent likeness, there was nothing left out. You've got it all. All of it's in you. You're here to unfold. That you may release it. Such joy, such peace, and you'll understand the great songs and the great scriptures of the world didn't give me this joy, and the world can't take it away. You understand what that means, that there's nothing in time and space that can take the joy from you once it's activated on a heart level. You see, yes, there will be challenges, impasse of the mind, things you can't solve. But you're living in willingness, full responsibility, not blame. A life of love. No justified resentments. Now you're free. Wow. Free. Totally free. The machinations of the mind that ruminate and love to live in drama start to reform themselves and become a larger catch basket for the rays of infinite good. I want you to hear that you can be free and liberated awake and aware, all needs met in this lifetime, in this incarnation. As a matter of fact, in this year that is left, you can be a candidate for a mighty, mighty, true transformation. Do not put yourself down and sell yourself short. Embrace what the presence sees in you and as you. Precious, totally trusted with all of life. Trust the process. Be willing. Practice, practice, practice until your practice becomes a way of living. This is why we invite you over and over and over again. Come into the classes. Fellowship, study, practice, come into the classes. Come into the revelation happening. We don't even have a name for it because it's beyond an event or a conference. It's a happening. So that you can come into such a buoyancy vibrationally. You start to float. And you'll hear some guidance. Guidance, guidance. Sometimes it won't even seem logical. I'll end with this story. A number of years ago, my house burned down, and I had to stay with my parents temporarily while it was being fixed. And I was awakened with the voice that said, read the 91st Psalm. And so I got up and I started reading the 91st Psalm. And the voice said, read it out loud. So I started reading it out loud. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. Louder, it said. So I started reading a little louder. Louder. So I started really reading this really loud. Everybody in the house is sleeping. I know they thought I've lost my mind. So I'm reading this really, really loud, about the secret place of the Most High, under the shadow of the Almighty, where no hurt, harm, nor danger can come nigh our dwelling place, because we're making the Most High our habitation. I'm getting down. So somewhere around 2 o'clock in the morning, and this energy swelled up in me. And then around 2, it started to diminish, and said, okay, you can go back to sleep. So, oh man, I went to sleep. So the next day, I'm speaking to Lissa Sprinkles. And I started telling her this experience I had. And she said, what time was this? I said, it started about 1 a.m. It lasted to about 2. Now, at that particular time, she was with a friend of ours at someone's house, and there was a lot of phenomena going on in the house. And they were there to dissolve the phenomena, and they had a Bible in the middle of the room reading the 91st Psalm. And they were going to town on it. At about 1 o'clock, another energy joined them. And it swelled and swelled and swelled until about 2 o'clock, the house was cleared. And so I had been guided to join. It was illogical. It made no rational sense. It was like, why am I screaming the 91st Psalm in my living room, waking up my mom and dad, But I followed the guidance, and I joined Lissa and another woman named Thelma, and we became this triumvirate of a vortex of pure, absolute life that cleared the lower frequencies. There's so much to be revealed. So much doesn't make sense to the mind. I gave you a couple of keys to real transformation. We'll continue in this vibration. Will you join me in prayer? I invite you to turn within in this moment and to feel in this sense and accept that all of the power and all of the presence and all of the love that there is right where you are. Oh, I know the surface mind can't get this. It screams out sometimes, such knowledge is too wonderful for me. I can't attain unto it. surface mind can't. But your heart can. Your soul's available, and you're moving from sense to soul. From the sensorium to your cellular encounter with the divine. Turn within with me in this moment, and let's engage a deep and a profound and an abiding willingness to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. No longer conforming to the world of effects and circumstances. Come with me into the frequency of freedom. Come with me into the frequency of joy and harmony and peace. Come with me into the vibrational frequency of a love that is so strong. Come with me. Feel the holy encounter. And in this moment of oneness and gratitude and thanksgiving, oh, the word is spoken. That we may taste freedom. We may taste peace. We may taste well-being. Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. Tasty. Oh my God, the nectar going back on the throat. Oh my God, it's beyond any earthly delight. Ecstasy and bliss. I speak the word. Divine wholeness reigns supreme. Well-being reigns supreme through the body temple, the mental body, the emotional body. Oh, the wealth of the cosmos, the abundance and the absolute opulence and elegance of the entire cosmos. Oh, guess what? That's in us. Please be free. Come on, be free. Be free. Brenda, you got a little something? I want them to feel. I want them to feel.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Pull yourself in me.
Oh, that's receptivity right there.
Pull yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me. Pull yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful. Pour your grace, oh, in me, yeah. Oh, into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your grace. Pour your grace into my heart. Oh, wonderful.
Oh. That's it right there. That's it. Oh, take somebody's hand, please. Stretch out and feel the fellowship, feel the spiritual camaraderie, feel the divine support all around you. Feel this emergent community of lovers of God and lovers of humanity rise on up as a prayer vortex as we embrace each other in absolute health and harmony and wholeness and well-being.